welcome to another episode of the Wildside here on Zoo Nation TV. And look, I've got an emperor scorpion. It is Halloween week coming up, and this is one of the creepy critters you can see at your local zoo or aquarium. This is Taser from an organization called Zoomagination. Look them up on Facebook and give them a like. Now, Taser here is one of the larger species of scorpion, an emperor scorpion. Now, you think this animal's venomous? You're absolutely right. Take a look at that tail. That's where the venom is. Now, do you think I'm allergic to this venom? I don't know. I really don't want to find out today. But you know, not to worry. The sting of a scorpion like this is going to be about as bad as a pretty big bee. The larger the pinchers of an emperor scorpion, the less potent their venom is. Think about defense mechanisms. They have a bigger defense in the back, they have to have a little defense up front. That is the way these animals protect themselves from predators, which would be a mongoose or maybe a bird or even other insects, other arachnids. Now I say arachnid because a scorpion is a member of the arachnid family. They're related to tarantulas, where a tarantula would have that big bulbous abdomen where they would spin their webs. The scorpion has that elongated abdomen. And did you know when they poop, the poop comes out right there and it gets about as fast as a bullet leaves a gun. Fascinating creatures. Now I know Halloween's a time to kind of freak out about animals like scorpions, snakes, owls, lizards, but animals like this are important for the environment. And they're excellent mothers. When a scorpion gives birth, the babies come out live and live right here on her back. Now when the babies are on the back, mom will catch a cricket, mush the cricket up, and then turn the cricket into baby puree and let those babies come around and eat right off of her mouth. Once the babies are old enough to leave mom, they do, and they better do it quick, because if mom's a little hungry as they're leaving, she might take one as a to-go snack. Now, speaking of excellent mothers, as we start every episode, we talk about new babies at a zoo near you, and this week is no different. So let's hit it over to our zooborns category and see what animals are calling a zoo near you home this week.
Baby, 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 baby.
For our first zooborn of the week, we go to the Smithsonian Zoo to take a look at these peculiar looking animals. This is a prehensile-tailed porcupine, and just recently, the Smithsonian Zoo had a debut of a brand new little porcupine. Take a look at this brown furball. Now, this little porcupine was born on exhibit at the Smithsonian Zoo. Now, prehensile-tailed porcupines have a fifth limb, which helps them to stay arboreal, staying high up in the treetops. Now, they do have quills, but unlike their African cousins, the quills aren't as long. And unlike their North American cousins, the quills are not barbed. Holy cuteness alert! This is a wombat joey, born at the Brookfield Zoo in the spring. But it's just now making its public debut. I'm saying just now because these animals, again, are born but then finish their development inside of mom's pouch. They are mighty marsupials, just like kangaroos and just like wallabies. And for our last zooborn of the week, we go to the Bronx Zoo to look at a ghost cat. Well, it is a ghost cat. This is a snow leopard, and they're called the ghost cat because of their palish gray coloration and their ability to blend in with rocks and the snow in their native environments. Now, where do these animals live? In the very, very high portions of the mountains where it's very icy, very cold, and the air is extremely thin. You can see them in countries like Nepal, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, China. You can see these animals in Mongolia. Now, their numbers are listed as vulnerable, but they are declining. They're also an indicator species. If this top predator's numbers are healthy, that means that all the prey are healthy. If the numbers are declining, that means the prey is also declining, and that's what they're seeing right now. Now, this little animal is making its debut at the Bronx Zoo during the last weekend of Boo at the Zoo, the Halloween event. How fitting, a ghost cat making its appearance at the last week of Boo at the Zoo. Congratulations to the Bronx Zoo on the successful breeding of the snow leopard and helping the species survival plan for the snow leopard continue. Now, those were some amazing animal mothers. And speaking of amazing animal moms, in that tree right behind me, I don't want to get too close to disturb them, is a nesting group of red-shouldered hawks. And that mother is going to do her best to make sure those chicks are healthy and thriving and learn them real good. Learn them how to hunt, stay away from predators, and also to raise the next generation of red-shouldered hawks. Now, speaking of learning the environment and getting good adaptations, one of the most important adaptations an animal can have to survive the natural environment are these eyes, just like that. And some animals have great vision at night. Let's learn a little more about the biology of an animal's eye and how, unlike me, using a flashlight when I go trick-or-treating this Halloween, they're able to see sometimes completely in the dark because they take advantage of a little light that we don't even notice. Take a look at this.
To human eyes, the world at night is a formless canvas of gray. Many nocturnal animals, on the other hand, experience a rich and varied world, bursting with details, shapes, and colors. What is it then that separates moths from men? Moths and many other nocturnal animals see at night because their eyes are adapted to compensate for the lack of light. All eyes, whether nocturnal or not, depend on photoreceptors in the retina to detect light particles known as photons. Photoreceptors then report information about these photons to other cells in the retina and brain. The brain sifts through that information and uses it to build up an image of the environment the eye perceives. The brighter the light is, the more photons hit the eye. On a sunny day, upwards of 100 million times more photons are available to the eye than on a cloudy, moonless night. Photons aren't just less numerous in darkness, but they also hit the eye in a less reliable way. This means the information that photoreceptors collect will vary over time, as will the quality of the image. In darkness, trying to detect the sparse scattering of randomly arriving photons is too difficult for the eyes of most daytime animals. But for night creatures, it's just a matter of adaptation. One of these adaptations is size. Take the tarsier, whose eyeballs are each as big as its brain, giving it the biggest eyes compared to head size of all mammals. If humans had the same brain-to-eye ratio, our eyes would be the size of grapefruits. The tarsier's enlarged orbs haven't evolved to make it cuter, however, but to gather as much light as possible. Bigger eyes can have larger openings, called pupils, and larger lenses, allowing for more light to be focused on the receptors. While tarsiers scan the nocturnal scene with their enormous peepers, cats use gleaming eyes to do the same. Cats' eyes get their shine from a structure called the tapetum lucidum that sits behind the photoreceptors. This structure is made from layers of mirror-like cells containing crystals that send incoming light bouncing back towards the photoreceptors and out of the eye. This results in an eerie glow, and it also gives the photoreceptors a second chance to detect photons. In fact, this system has inspired the artificial cat's eyes we use on our roads. Toads, on the other hand, have adapted to take it slow. They can form an image even when just a single photon hits each photoreceptor per second. They accomplish this with photoreceptors that are more than 25 times slower than human ones. This means toads can collect photons for up to 4 seconds, allowing them to gather many more than our eyes do at each visual time interval. The downside is that this causes toads to react very slowly, because they're only receiving an updated image every 4 seconds. Fortunately, they're accustomed to targeting sluggish prey. Meanwhile, the night is also buzzing with insects, such as hawk moths, which can see their favorite flowers in color, even on a starlit night. They achieve this by a surprising move, getting rid of details in their visual perception. Information from neighboring photoreceptors is grouped in their brains, so the photon catch of each group is higher, compared to individual receptors. However, grouping photoreceptors loses details in the image, as fine details require a fine grid of photoreceptors, each detecting photons from one small point in space. The trick is to balance the need for photons with the loss of detail to still find their flowers. Whether eyes are slow, enormous, shiny, or coarse, it's the combination of these biological adaptations that gives nocturnal animals their unique visual powers. Imagine what it might be like to witness through their eyes the world that wakes up when the sun goes down.
Everyone, stop the press as the Sumatran tigers are back at the Tarongan Zoo. Now, in 2015, the Sumatran tigers left the zoo so their habitat could go under renovation. Well, Tiger Trek is now open, and it has expanded the tigers' facilities 3 times their size. This is an amazing, amazing facility. And Sumatran tigers are an amazing species. Get this, everybody. There are about 400 of these animals left on planet Earth, and 4 of them live at this zoo. 1 male and a female and her 2 cubs. Now, these animals hopefully will not go the way of the Javan tiger, which went extinct in the 1970s. However, someone recently said they saw a Javan tiger, and here, I'll show you the photo. Here it is. They saw a Javan tiger in Indonesia. If this picture is true, it's the first sighting of the tiger in the area since the 1970s. Anyway, back to Tiger Trek at the Tarongan Zoo. This Indonesia-themed exhibit is really helping increase the tiger's enrichment, but also increase the guest view. Guests now have an amazing opportunity to see these animals from multiple vantage points, and they also have a brand new Jeep. Here's the Jeep right here. You can get in the Jeep, sit there. The tigers will jump on the hood, move around the Jeep. This is the closest that people in this area can get to these amazing big cats. And it's also a great way to teach people about the human-tiger conflict and how conservation of this species is extremely, extremely important. Congratulations to the Tarongan Zoo for opening Tiger Trek and bringing your 4 tigers back where they belong in a vast exhibit with a lot of enrichment and a lot of great guest educational opportunities. I would love to visit the Taronga Zoo's brand new Sumatran tiger exhibit. That thing looks awesome. You know, here on the Wildside each and every week, we try to end with a story of rescue, rehabilitation, and release, or finding a long-term home at a zoo or aquarium near you. And this week is no different. This week's Second Chances is about the very first ever melon-headed whale to be rescued, rehabilitated, and looking to be released. Take a look at this.
Come on, baby, and rescue me. Come on, baby, and rescue me. 'Cause I need you.
This is Morgan, a melon-headed whale that was rescued and rehabilitated and now slated for release by the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time in the U.S. that a melon-headed whale has successfully been rehabilitated. Now, this animal, as an adult, was rescued back in September. Now, a lot of times when these animals strand, they already have some chronic lung issues or chronic illness. This is a very, very pelagic or deep-watered living whale. They live out off the coastline. So for the rehabilitation process, there was some very, very slim hope. A lot of times these animals also wash up because of their degraded health with parasites in their brain. Well, this animal is now healthy, and the hardest part is in front of the rescue team. They're going to release this animal. Get this, folks. They have to go 100 miles off the coastline before they are in the animal's natural habitat. And they're going to find another group of melon-headed whales and release this animal back out. Again, this is a first, and this is groundbreaking rescue rehabilitation work happening right here and right in Gulfport, Mississippi. That's an incredible story of rescue. That wraps up this episode of The Wild Side right here on Zoo Nation TV. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to give this page a like right here on Facebook, share our video, and leave us a comment. Oh, and show our friends at Zoo Imagination some love by giving them a like right here on Facebook. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and follow Zoo Nation on Twitter and Instagram. Until next week, everyone, enjoy your family time, Halloween, trick-or-treating. Make sure the kids stay safe and make sure the adults eat all their candy. Take care of one another, take care of the environment, and remember, conservation rules.